1 year earlier. Early April. Reincarnation, seeing glass. When you think of Paris, what comes to mind? Baguettes. Baguettes, croissant, and that little red hat. What's it called? What's it called? Delicious French cuisine, fancily decorated sweets, trend-setting fashion. There's all that and more. It's like a treasure chest, overflowing with priceless wonders. Did I miss anything? Oh, I guess there are lots of historical landmarks too. But I could care less about boring stuff like that. I didn't want to go to Paris to feel like I was at school. I want to be wowed. The Chateau de Versailles I could make an exception for though. Oh, I really want to go there. I want to see that. But this was my first ever vacation without my mom. Just me and my friends, and I wanted to have as much fun as I could. And I wanted to have as much fun as I could. Okay. I want to go to a cafe. I want to get chocolate from a chocolatier. I wanted to use all of the allowance I'd saved up to see a show at the opera house. Is this Nellie? I had plans to keep me busy for days, and yet somehow... Whoa! I was standing smack in the middle of a busy sidewalk all by myself.
今日に限って充電器をホテルに忘れちゃうし、公衆電話なんて見つからないし、第一見つかったとしても電話番号なんて覚えてないし。
Well, I forgot my charger at the hotel as well this weekend. I feel you.
もう知らないところで携帯が使えなくなるのがこんなに困ることなんて思わなかったわ。
Is there power banks in this age? I was in Paris with a few of my friends for spring break. But we got separated and my phone was out of battery, so I had no way of getting in touch with them. Somehow I feel like she's gonna meet up Mell. She's gonna bump into Mell. I went into a bunch of different shops to ask if I could borrow a charger, but they either said they were busy and sent me away or only had an outlet to offer. Though the worst was when they didn't speak English at all, which was pretty disappointing. You'd think they at least speak the language in the fanciest shops in the city. Though maybe it wasn't fair to think the world revolved around me because I spoke English, but that's beside the point. That's probably what French people are thinking. I was stranded in the middle of Paris and nothing changed that. What was I going to do? Just go back to the hotel, maybe? If my stupid phone were working, we could have just met up somewhere and this would all be over. But no, I just had to die on me. How did people even survive without phones before? Way to ruin my trip. Jeez.
ねえ君、何か困っているの？
Is this Mell? Is this Mell?
誰かしら？知らない人の声だわ。きっとネリーが可愛いから親切を装ってどこかに連れ込む気ね。街で声をかけてくるような男は用心しなさいってママが言ってたもの。ふんだ、 その手には乗らないわよ。
I can match that voice with Mell.
いいえ、何にも困ってません。一人で解決できますのでお構いなく。
And she probably turns around, sees him, and is like, "Ah, my prince! You look dashing!" Yo, he got style too! Look at this cutie! I knew it! She about to faint.
そっか。余計なお世話だったね。じゃあ気をつけて。
She's like, no! You ain't going nowhere!
困ってます。もう死ぬほど困ってる。一人じゃ解決できないくらい困り果ててた
の。You know what? You know what? Relatable. Relatable. Oh, my camera was blocking him. Ta-da! Surprise! This is the reveal.
あれそうなのさっき困ってないって言って。
She regret! She regret! Y'all, I would damsel in distress myself as well. Nellie... Fist bump.
言ってません。聞き間違いです。だからその助けてくれると嬉しいわ。
そう
この人はネリーが王子様って呼んでた近くの学校の男の子だわ。なんでパリにいるの？
That's so random that they're both here. Must be fate. Well, at least they're not related here.
こんな偶然ってある？神様ありがとう。今日はついていないどころか超ラッキーだわ。
The second I saw him, I went stupid. At least you know. You know what? I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge. Would do the same. Would do the same. He had the same soft flaxen-colored hair and gentle eyes as me. There was no way he wasn't my prince. Every day on my way home from school, I would try to find him. A glimpse from behind or the side was enough to make my day. I first caught sight of him just after I started secondary school. There was an event going on at a nearby school, and I happened to see a bunch of guys leaving. There were so many of them, but my gaze still gravitated toward one in particular. Him. And from that moment, he was my prince. My friends made fun of me for having a prince at 14. We were practically adults by now. But I didn't care what anyone said. He was my prince. And now for some reason, he was here in Paris and not at school in London. If this was a dream, I hoped I would never wake.
じゃあ助けになるよ。僕でできることなら何でも言って。
やっぱり王子様だわ。
今なんて？
こっちの話気にしないで。友達と合流したいんだけど携帯の充電が切れちゃって充電器も忘れちゃって。
そうなんだ。機種は何？充電器持ち歩いてるからもしかしたら使えるかも。見せてくれる？
これなんだけど。
This is where one of them is an Android user and the other one is an iOS user. I'm not feeling the Android vibes. I think they're both Apple users. When I handed him my phone, our fingers brushed against each other for the briefest of moments. My face went red in an instant, and I could feel my heart pounding in the back of my throat. Every day, I'd wished I had the courage to talk to him after school, but I'd never managed to gather up enough to actually do it. Never in 1,000 years had I expected my dream to come true on this trip, and for it to be him who talked to me first. The longer I gazed at him, the more handsome he seemed, and he was super kind to boot, the very image of a prince.
あ、これなら僕の充電器も使えるよ。ちょっと待ってね、繋いでおくから。数分もすれば電源が入ると思うよ。
Oh. He's like, why is she moving closer to me?
なんか近いんだけど。
ごめんなさい、ネリーってばつい。
Oh my god, that was awkward. Oh my gosh.
ネリって言うんだ。可愛い名前だね。
Yo, she's gonna faint. Y'all, there's an earthquake. There's an earthquake, but it's only Nellie. It's a Nellie quake. He just called me cute. I mean, yeah, I was cute, obviously, but hearing it from him was another thing completely.
あ、大丈夫？なんか顔が赤いし、プルプルしているんだけど、病気？
She's gonna be like, yes, it is so cold, please hold me. And he's gonna be like, well, I have this thick sweater, you can have it. And she'll be like, darn it! My plan failed.
いたって健康体よ。なんかすごくびっくりしちゃって。だって学校からの帰り道であなたのこと見てたから。
Wow, that's bold! Did I say bold or bald?
え？
Was you supposed to say that out loud?
今のはちょっと言い間違えたわ。見かけたことあるからってことね。
He's like, she's definitely a stalker.
あ、そうなんだ。それは奇遇だね。実は僕も何度か君を見かけたことがあるんだ。なんだか気になる子がいるなって。
Now the Nellie quake is on again.
それってもしかして一目惚れ同士の相思相愛ってこと？そこまでラッキーが重なっていいの？
She's quick to jump to conclusions. I mean, interested might be one thing, but you know, love at first sight, that's attraction.
変な意味じゃないから気にしないでね。髪の色とかすごく似てるし、どこかで会ったような気がしただけなんだ。
She's like full on love mode, and he's like, well, we have the same hair color. You know, it kind of feels like I've seen you because we go to the same school.
変な意味でもいいのに。さすがに相思相愛はないか。そんなに都合のいい話はないわよね。
Yeah, she crazy. He'll be like, we might be distant cousins or something. I'd fall through the ground.
でもネリーのことを知っててくれたなんて、それだけですっごく運命的。これからお近づきになれば十分可能性があるんじゃない？
I hope this doesn't go as smoothly as it might.
それでなんかずっと黙りながら僕のことを見つめてるけど大丈夫？
He's gonna call the cops on you.
大丈夫よ。
あ、本当かな。あ、もう電源つくみたいだよ。友達に連絡したらどうかな。
ありがとう。ちょっと電話しに向こうに行ってくるわ。ここで待ってて。
うん、それはいいけど、ここでできない電話なのかな。
あ、もしもし。そうなの。途中で電池が切れちゃって、今ね、凱旋門が見える大通りにいるわ。でも合流するのは後にしない？なんでって、なんでもよ。後で詳しいことは説明するわ。
She wants this to be a date and not a quadruple date.
とにかく今はネリーのことは気にしないで、みんなで好きにしてて。大丈夫よ。変なことに巻き込まれたわけじゃないから。急にごめんね。また後で連絡するわ。じゃあね。
I mean, ditching your friends like this as well, and they're probably being worried too. I'd be pretty irritated, but since she's a kid, I mean, it's fine. You learn. But this is how you also lose friends. You know, just ditching them. Nellie? I think that Nellie would be the girl who saw a really hot guy, someone that she'd be like, oh my god, that's my prince. Everyone's at the club. She's there with her friends, her girlfriends, and she just bails on them. She just forgets about them. Yeah.
あ、戻ってきた。どうだった？すぐ合流できそう？
それなんだけど、また困ったことになっちゃって。みんなツアーに参加してるみたいで、すぐ合流できそうにないの。
Her level in damsel in distressing herself is at maximum. This competition.
しかも結構長いツアーみたいで、終わるまでネリーは一人で待ってないといけないの。
そうなんだ。君を置いて先に行っちゃうなんて薄情な友達だね。
Oh no, making them look bad. Nellie, you have to say something.
そうなの、薄情なの。みんなごめんね。
Now Mell is probably gonna be irritated at her friends and be like, you don't do that to your friend. You don't just leave. Bathroom break.
ちなみになんてツアーなの？
それはなんか遺跡を巡る的な。
The underground passages, maybe?
そうか、遺跡巡りツアーか。確かにこの辺りの観光地だと見るのも時間がかかりそうだよね。
そうなの。それでね、も しもあなたに時間があったら。
どこかでお茶でもしようか？
Oh my gosh, she's so excited.
元気な返事。
She's like, it's all going according to plan.
そうだ、一応自己紹介をしておくよ。僕はメル。君の近所の学校に通っている17歳。よろしくね。
もう知ってると思うけど、ネリーよ。あなたのメルの近所の学校に通っている14歳。よろしく
ね。じゃあ行こうか。
やっぱりこの人はネリーの王子様だわ。ネリーのしたいことを先に言ってくれるなんて。今日は本当にいい日。最高の一日になりそう。
Oh, nice.
たくさん歩かせちゃってごめんね。この時間だと中心地の方はどこもいっぱいだよね。入れそうなところでも僕たちの年齢だとちょっとハードルが高いっていうか。
全然気にしないで。どんなところでも大丈夫だし、むしろおしゃれなところを探さないでもいいと思うわ。
Nellie's fine as long as she's with Mell.
そう言ってくれると助かるよ。クラスの女子は男がカフェに誘うなら綺麗でいいところに連れて行かないとって言うんだよね。そうしたいのは山々だけど、学生にそんなことを求められてもなーって感じでさ。ってなんか愚痴っぽいね。ごめん。
Nellie doesn't care as long as she's with Mell.
ネリーも同意する。それにおごってもらおうなんて思ってないわ。ネリーだってお小遣いもらってきてるし、普通に半分こしましょう。
え、それでいいんだ。クラスの子の意見とは全然違うな。
ネリーは今時の男女平等な考えを持つ女の子なのよ。まあ相手が王子様じゃなかったらクラスの女子に同意なんだけどね。
It's only Mel gets a pass. I knew it.
嬉しいけどやっぱりちょっとは出させてよ。僕の方が年上なんだし、アルバイトもしているからね。
そうなの？じゃあお言葉に甘えようかしら。アルバイトって何をしているの？王子様なんだし、きっと素敵なアルバイトだわ。高級レストランのウェイターさんとか。
I wonder if it has to do anything with church. I could see him at a bookstore. Like a librarian or something. He liked to read.
骨董品屋の店番。暇なのがいいんだよね。
Oh! I like that. Antique shop.
そうなんだ。へえ。でもそういうのも変わっててありだと思うわ。
ありがとう。あの路地の向こうにカフェみたいなのが見えない？ほら、看板が出てる。
本当だわ。こんなところでお店をやっててお客さん来るのかしら。
地元の人だけが知る隠れた名店かもしれないね。行ってみよう。これは隠れた名店っていうより
営業しているのかしら。一応オープンって書かれているけど。
We stood before a lonely, weathered cafe. It was so sad I wasn't sure if it could even be called a cafe anymore. It seemed like someone kept it clean, at least. But it still looked like it could fall down at any second. Even the windows had turned cloudy. I hesitantly peeked through, and inside I saw a young waitress gazing off into space. Alarm bells were going off in my head, and under my other circumstances, I would have turned back and gone somewhere else, right then and there. But it did have one thing going for it. There were no customers at all. It would be beyond impossible to find another establishment in Paris as empty as this one.
他のところを探そうか？ゆっくりはできそうだけど、さすがにパリに来てまでこんなお店は嫌だよね。
I mean, it can still be cozy.
確かにちょびっと不安はあるけど、ここでいいと思うわ。逆にパリでこんなお店に出会えること自体面白いし。
It's like a new experience.
そうかい？君って冒険心あるんだね。僕より勇敢かも。
そうかしら。
She just wanna spend time with Mel. That's about it.
メルと一緒だから誰もいないようなところがいいの。なんて言ったらどんな反応されるかしら。
She's so simple-minded. So simple-minded. Like we all just knew.
僕もだよ、ネリーとか言ってくれちゃったりして、それでそのまま素敵な雰囲気になって。
What in the love and deep space?
ネリーはね、メルと一緒だから誰もいないようなって。あれ？
Huh? Oh, he just left? He went in there maybe?
おーいネリー、そんなところでぼんやりしてどうしたの？早くおいでよ。
ちょっと待ってってば。
Oh, cozy!
珍しいお客だ。いらっしゃいませ。お好きな席にどうぞ。店員さんがお客を珍しがってどうすんのよ。
お店の中は思ったよりも普通だね。せっかくだし窓際の席にしようか。
This said 1 year earlier, right? In April 4th. Mel was right. The cafe was much nicer on the inside than the exterior suggested. It was neat and tidy, and the pleasant aroma of coffee filled the air. The furnishings and decorations were a bit on the old-fashioned side, and there was no hiding the fact it was dead. But it did still have a kind of cozy atmosphere to it. That's what I said! Of course, I'm sure I only felt that way because I was with Mel. If I had been with friends, I probably would have been complaining so much that I couldn't find a single thing to like about this place. Figures. Mel cautiously led me to a table by a window. What a wonderfully chivalrous gentleman he'd been raised as. The waitress came and took our orders as soon as we sat down. Mel asked for a coffee, and I asked for a soda. 17-year-old and drinks coffee? I thought coffee was disgusting at that age. She didn't bother to hide how not at all thrilled she was to have to do work, but she wasn't rude or dismissive to us either. And once our drinks arrived, Mel and I started chatting. I could hardly believe this was our first time ever having a real conversation. It honestly felt like we'd known each other for ages.
へえ、それじゃあ海外旅行は初めてなんだ。
そうなの。一応小さい頃に家族旅行で海外に行ったことはあるんだけど、その時の記憶なんて全然ないし。だから実質これが初めての海外って感じかしら。メルはどうなの？よく海外に行くの？
いや、そんなことはないよ。そんなにアクティブな方じゃないし、家で本を読んでいる方が性に合っているんだ。
We're the same, Mel. We're the same.
そうなんだ。それならどうして今日はパリにいたの？一人旅行なのよね。
旅行っていうより買い付けかな。ほら、骨董品屋でバイトしているって話しただろ。店主さんがぎっくり腰になって旅券が無駄になりそうだったから代わりに行かされたんだよ。
Oh.
用があるのは明日の飲みの市だから今日は自由に散歩していたんだ。そこで君を見つけたってわけ。
へえ、お仕事で来てたのね。大変だわ。
いや、仕事ってレベルじゃないけどね。だいたい僕じゃ目利きもできないし何を買えばいいのかもわからないよ。店主さんもどうせ旅券が無駄になるくらいなら若いやつに海外旅行でもさせておこうって思ったんだろうね。あの人偏屈なじいさんなんだけど根はいい人なんだ。だから好意には甘えておこうかなって。ただで旅行できるし、まさに棚からぼたもちって感じだよ。
そうなのね。ねえ、その飲みの市、ネリーも一緒に行きたいわ。楽しそうだもの。
いいよって言いたいところだけど、友達と一緒に来ているんだろ。みんなをほったらかしにしたらダメだよ。
Like, you know, she's already done. But he doesn't know. But it's good that you're saying this, Mel. I mean, I wouldn't expect less of Mel. He's one of my favorites, so makes sense.
でもみんなとはきっといつでも旅行できるし。
そうとは限らないよ。僕も初等教育の頃いつでも会えるだろうって思っていた友達がいたけど、学年が上がったら離れ離れになったんだ。だからその時その時を大事にした方がいいんじゃないかな。友達だってネリーと一緒に旅行するのを楽しみに思っているはずだよ。
A round of applause for Mel. He's gonna be a wonderful adult as well.
それはそうかもだけど、確かに友達を放ってこっちに来ちゃったのはちょっぴり罪悪感があるわ。メルと一緒にいたいけど、あんまり勝手なことしてたら友達なくしちゃうかも。でもメルと出会ったのだって大事にしたいわ。一緒に飲みの市行けるような機会なんてめったにないだろうし。
え？イギリスに帰ってからじゃダメなの？イギリスにだって飲みの市はあるんだし、何も君までパリの骨董品にこだわる必要ないんじゃない？
いいの？もちろん一緒に出かけたいわ。
Cute.
よし、じゃあ決まりだ。後で連絡先を交換しようよ。
こだわっているのは骨董品じゃないんだけどね。
でも君がそんなに骨董品に興味があるなんて思わなかったな。今時の女の子って感じなのに人は見かけによらないね。
She's just adjusting to you. Y'all, I still feel like I wanted a little bit more of Morgana and Mel. Anyone else?
このお店に興味を示したのも君の方だし、アンティークなものが好きなんだね。遺跡巡りのツアー行けなくて残念だったね。
遺跡巡り？そうね。本当に残念だわ。ネリーは歴史の授業が一番好きだから楽しみにしてたの。危ない。遺跡巡りのツアーなんて嘘をついてたことすっかり忘れてたわ。
You're gonna forget this story and you're gonna stumble and he's gonna be like, huh, didn't you say? But you know what? She's 14. So she's gonna make these mistakes. She's gonna stumble over herself just to fit in with Mell and his vibe.
それに歴史の授業なんてこれっぽっちも好きじゃないし。
僕も歴史の授業は好きだよ。あんなにたくさんの戦争があって国の解体や統合が繰り返された後で今につながっているんだって思うと。
Oh, so I mean, Nellie, if you're gonna be with Mel, he's gonna talk about this. Are you even gonna be listening?
なんか不思議な気持ちになるよね。感慨深いっていうか、僕たちも無関係じゃないんだなって。あ、そうだ。君はどの時代が好き？
Oh, she's doomed. She's doomed. She's gonna say something like something French.
どの時代？そうね。
Oh, good.
マリー・アントワネットの時代かしら。
And she's probably thinking because pastel colors, bakery desserts, and you know, pretty dresses.
フランス革命か。あの辺りは激動の時代だよね。いろいろなフィクションの題材にもなっているし、人気があるのもわかるよ。
She's gonna be like internally, that's the only one I know.
そうよね。本当にドーンって感じでバーンって感じよね。
それじゃあもうコンコルド広場行ったかい？
コンドル広場？うん、もちろんよ。すっごく素敵だったわ。マリー・アントワネットの大好きなコンドルが大きく飾られてたわよね。何か間違えたかしら。マリーの好物ってことじゃないの？話がいきなりコンドルに飛ぶし、わけわからないわ。
僕の発音が悪かったね。コンコルド広場だよ。ルイ16世がギロチンで処刑されてしまった広場さ。
ルイ16世ってギロチンで殺されたの？怖ー。
And she's like, spoiler alert!
ねえ、君、本当に歴史がそれ
よりも、最近流行っているドラマの話をしない？
What are they even gonna talk about if they don't have similar interests?
いいけど。
はあ、危ない危ない。このまま話したらネリーがバカだって思われちゃうわ。歴史に興味がないだけでバカなわけじゃないもん。音楽の成績は結構いいし、でももしかして常識レベルの話だったのかしら。もうちょっと勉強しよう。
Actually, a good motivation.
それでメルはどんなドラマが好きなの？
He's gonna be like History Channel.
ドラマか。実はあんまり見ないんだよね。あ、でも子供っぽいって思われるかもしれないけど、好きなアニメがあるんだ。
Oh? What is it? I wonder if they can name drop an anime in this game, or if they have to like censor it, but you know which one it is.
ニャッキーパンチって言って、猫のニャッキーが力ずくで何もかもを解決していくストーリーなんだけど、これがなかなか笑えてさ。
Is this original? Does it one punch as well?
どうも、コーヒーのおかわりなんてどう？
あ、じゃあもらおうかな。ネリーはどうする？同じものでいい？
どうしようかしら。せっかくだし違うものにしてみるわ。店員さん、何かおすすめはある？せっかく聞いてもらったところ悪いんだけど、この店これといって特別なものは置いてないんだよね。メニューにあるのも定番どころだけだし、コーヒー豆も近所のコーヒーショップから仕入れているやつだし。そうなの。ますますどうして潰れてないのか不思議になってきたわ。強いて言えばカフェオレかな。私がうまく作れるってだけだけどね。じゃあそれでお願いするわ。どうも、毎度あり。にしても観光客がこの店に来るのはほんと珍しいや。どこから来たのさ？
イギリスです。ロンドンの学校に通っているんです。
へえ、いいね。大都会じゃんか。それならパリに来なくったって面白いものもたくさんあるっしょ。
いや、そんなことないですよ。知らない場所はやっぱり新鮮に感じるし。
お姉さんはイギリスに来たことってある？だいぶ前にね。一人でバックパッカーしてた時にちょろっと回ったよ。物価が高いのと飯がまずいので割とすぐ退散しちったけど。ってごめん、イギリスの子に言うことじゃなかったね。今のを忘れて。
割とよく言われることなんであんまり気にしてないです。
Really?
でも美味しいものだってちゃんとあるのよ。スコーンに生クリームをたっぷりのせて紅茶と一緒にいただくと本当に素敵なんだから。
That does sound good.
ああ、アフタヌーンティーだっけ？確かにそういうのはやらなかったな。今度行ったら試してみるよ。それならイギリスに来た時に連絡して。ネリーが美味しいお店を教えてあげるわ。
Aww.
そうだわ。メルも一緒にアフタヌーンティーしに行きましょう。3人でお茶したら楽しいと思うの。
そうだね、いいアイデアだ。人数がいた方がああいうのは楽しいだろうしね。
それお世辞じゃなくて本当？嬉しいこと言ってくれるね。後で私の連絡先渡しておくよ。じゃあ飲み物のおかわり作ってくるから。会話中断させちゃって悪かったね。兄弟で仲良く旅行なんて羨ましくてさ、ついつい話しかけちゃった。
And sorry for butting in on your little sibling vacation time.
いい旅行になるといいね。兄弟だって思われちゃった。普通デートって思うところじゃないかしら。
She's like, bummer! And then she's probably gonna be like, wait. Does she think she can snatch Mell away from me?
ネリーはデートって思われたいの？
いや、
冗談だよ、冗談。会ったばかりでデートなんてさすがにね。僕たちそういうんじゃないし。
Real.
そうよね。そういうのじゃないものね。
But you can become friends out of that, so don't worry.
でも兄弟って思われるのちょっとわかるかも。ほら、僕たち結構似ているしさ。
そんなに似ているかしら。ネリーはそうは思わないんだけど。
そっか、ごめん。兄弟みたいに似てるって思うと親近感が湧くから、 僕は嬉しかったんだけど。
あのね、嫌だったってわけじゃなくて、ネリーだってメルに似ているのは嬉しいけど、その兄弟って思われるよりも。
思われるよりも？
恋人。
Hey, the music!
あ、電話だよ、ネリー。友達からじゃない？きっとツアーが終わったんだよ。
Is that her ringtone? She has this melody as her ringtone!
そうかもね。
It really was my friends calling, and since I had answered with Mell sitting across from me, I couldn't lie to them anymore. Which meant I had to meet back up with them, and the end of my time with Mell. I wished I could stay longer, but sadly, that was life. We exchanged phone numbers before leaving though, so it wasn't like that was my last chance to ever see him. I was looking forward to going back to England much more now. Which was especially funny considering when we landed here, me and my friends were all clamoring about how we wished we could live in Paris. But now my beloved London was where I wanted to be the most. Because Mell? Oh yeah, and I also got the waitress's number too before I left. And she told me with a big smile on her face that I could call her anytime whenever I visited France. I was thinking maybe I would ask her for the answer to the biggest mystery of my trip so far, how that cafe was still in business when no one visited it. Jokes aside, I would probably try to get in touch with her sometime. She was a very friendly woman, not afraid to speak her mind, and I thought we would get along wonderfully. But more importantly, she was too old to go after my Mell. That's why. That's why she bonded with her so quickly. She's like, okay, she's way too old for Mell. We can hang out. Hehehe. I really like these backgrounds. They're really beautiful.
この辺りでお別れだね、ネリー。今日は君に会えてよかったよ。友達と仲良くね。
後でたくさんメッセージ送るわ。メルも明日の飲みの市頑張ってね。
ありがとう。変なものを騙されて買わないよう気をつけておく。じゃあまたイギリスで。
またイギリスで。本当に夢みたいな時間だったわ。いつも学校帰りに見つめていたあの王子様がネリーのことを知っていたことも、旅行先でばったり出会えたことも。
But y'all had different views of this date.
あんなにたくさんお話できたことも、最高。
At least she's happy, and Mell is happy as well.
この幸せな気持ちがいつまでも続きますように。
It's like she has a celebrity crush. That kind of thing. I managed to meet back up with my friends, but my head was stuck in the clouds the rest of the day. We went to a lovely cafe together and we got chocolate from a chocolatier together, and we did everything I wanted to do in Paris. But all the pretty sights and fancy shops melted away, for that one quiet cafe burned into my memory. And his smile in profile as he gazed out the window. In every single version of Nellie, she adores Mell. He is her world. Spring vacation was over in the blink of an eye, and before I knew it, I was back to my hectic school life. I had a club to participate in, private lessons to attend, and so much other work it was enough to make my head spin. Grown-ups, or well, at least Mom, always talked about how students had it easy compared to them, but being a student sure didn't seem easy to me. Dealing with people was especially a pain, and I wish she would stop acting like being in school was all fun and games. That said, things had been going amazingly well for me recently, so I couldn't really blame her for thinking that. The biggest, most important thing was obviously being able to talk with Mell. Whenever I sent him a text, he always made time to send a reply, and whenever I sent him a cute sticker, he always sent one in return. Aww, love that. And every time, it put a stupid grin on my face. I even got my phone confiscated once for messing with it in class. We hadn't gone anywhere together yet like we said we would in Paris, but we'd been talking about it and making plans for a while now. And when we saw each other on the way home from school, he always waved. Things were going quite well, if I did say so myself. We were practically, literally going out by now. When the other girls in my class saw us, they would squee about how jealous they were that I was actually getting close to my prince. And who could blame them? Mell was a wonderful boy. But he was my wonderful boy. I wouldn't let them have him, no matter what. So anyway, things between me and Mell were going smoother than I could have ever dreamt of. But today, he wasn't responding to my texts. Normally, he sent something back pretty quickly. Had something happened? Had I said something that upset him? Or was he getting tired of all my messages? I couldn't focus on anything else. I kept looking at my phone every few minutes. I didn't see him on the way back from school, so I was nervous. I was a nervous wreck the entire way home.
Tadaima! あら、お客さんかしら。男の人の靴が2足分？
Maybe Mell knows her brother or something?
誰だろう。ねえママ、誰か来ているの？
ネリー、ちょうどいい時に帰ってきたわ。そろそろ連絡を入れようかと思っていたのよ。
ん？
Or maybe he just came here and asked for Nellie. Oh, I didn't even read that. I walked into the living room and Mom was standing there waiting with a big smile on her face. It had been a while since I'd seen her in such high spirits. Behind her I could see two figures. One was a man I didn't recognize, and the other...
Huh?
Oh hell no! Oh, hell no! It just dawned on me. It just dawned on me. The mom is introducing her new man. And the son is Mell! Y'all, they're not getting away from this fate. They're not getting away from this fate, are they? Was the prince I hadn't heard from all day.
Nellie? なんで君が
Oh my gosh, their parents are dating.
それはネリーのセリフだってば。どうしてメルがうちにいるの？これって一体どういう状況？
あら、もしかして二人とももう顔を合わせてたの？じゃあ話も進めやすいわね。ママね、また結婚することにしたのよ。
I knew it! Oh my gosh! They're just destined. They're just destined to be somehow siblings. At least they're not blood related, right? Oh, this is troublesome.
何言ってんの？突然意味わかんないんだけど。
こらネリー、女の子がそんなはしたない大声を上げないの。説明が遅くなったのは悪かったけれど、これでも何度か声をかけたのよ。あなた最近私の話を聞こうとしてくれなかったじゃない。
でもそんな急に再婚とか勝手に決めるなんて。
急に驚かせてしまってすまないネリー。挨拶もろくにしないまま再婚の話をされても困ってしまうよな。
Yeah, even the father's voice. I'm like, Kakashi, is that you? Ah.
はじめまして。いや、久しぶりって言うべきかな。今日は話し合いのためにここへ来たんだ。君の意見を無視して強引に決めることはないから安心してほしい。
For the first time in many years. Had I met him before?
驚いたな。妹がいるっていうのは聞いてたけど、まさか君だったなんて。でも他の知らない女の子と家族になるよりずっといいよ。結構ほっとしてるかも。
And she's like, no!
ちょっとなんでメルも完全に受け入れる姿勢なのよ。ママが再婚するってことはつまりここにいる全員が家族になるってことよね。
And Mell is like, because he doesn't have those kinds of feelings towards Nellie, he's gonna be like, so? Well, at least I know who you are and I like you.
そんなことしたらネリーはメルと兄弟になっちゃう。
And Mell is gonna be like, haha, Maria back at the cafe was right then. Hee hee.
僕と家族になるのは嫌かい？
嫌ってことじゃないんだけど。ちょっと待って、よく考えるのよネリー。再婚しても義理の兄弟ってことよね。だったら心配することはないのかも。
It's still weird as fuck. But I have already battled this. I have battled this with Love and Deep Space as well. With Caleb.
昔ドラマで見たことがあったわ。親が再婚して同じ屋根の下で暮らすようになった義兄弟がゆくゆくは結婚する話。
Oh, thank you, Nils. I am having a lot of fun with this, and I'm so relieved that we have voice actors. I am really relieved that we have voice actors. Not that I don't like reading, I like it very much, but it can really strain one's throat.
それならむしろ一緒に暮らせるんだし、いいことしかないんじゃ。そうよ、今までよりずっと近い距離でネリーの可愛さをアピールできるじゃない。ネリー天才かも。
Nellie, you think that this is gonna work? But it's just gonna be platonic from Mell.
ネリーだって一人っ子は寂しいって何度も言ってたじゃない。確かに親の都合で振り回してしまったことは悪く思うけど、でもこれで本来の家族の姿が取り戻せるんですもの。前向きに捉えてくれたら嬉しいわ。
ちょっと待って、本来の家族の姿って？
The way it was supposed to be.
やはり伝わってなかったのか。実は再婚は再婚でも事情が少し違うんだ。私たちは14年前に離婚をしていてね。
Oh? Y'all, I can't get it out of my head that the father looks like Kakashi. Give me the father.
つまりもともとはみんな一つの家族だったんだ。本当に久しぶりに娘の顔を見られて嬉しいよ。
Excuse me? We were divorced 14 years ago? We were all one big family once? I'm so glad to be able to see my daughter again? What on earth was this man on about? They're blood related. It all sounded like a bunch of nonsense to me.
急な話だもの。驚くのも無理ないわ。実は私たちが離婚したのはネリーが生まれた直後だったの。
待ってよ。何それ、冗談でしょ？それってつまり メルはこれから義理の兄弟になるんじゃなくて。
Exactly, because you're blood related.
最初から血がつながっているってこと？
Yeah, she's about to throw herself out the window.
ええ、そうよ。メルはあなたのたった一人のお兄さんよ。だから仲良くしましょうね。
Do 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 do. Everything they were saying was gibberish to me. Why couldn't they just say it was a joke so we could be done with this? It felt like the floor was sinking away from under me. And if it couldn't be a joke, how about a bad dream? I came home from school to find out I suddenly had a brother. And of everyone in the world, it just happened to be my prince. As I stood there in silence, the blood draining from my face, my mom and this man, who was supposedly my dad, kept on talking and talking and talking. About how, when they first split up, they were on such bad terms they were certain they would never speak again. About how my mom tried to get custody of both of us, but it was decided she was too sickly to raise 2 children on her own. About how they bought this house together when they first married. That must have been why it had always felt so spacious. The living room was too big for a single mother and her daughter, and the master bedroom was even worse. And then there was the other bedroom that nobody used at all. But whenever I asked her about it, Mom got really moody, so I avoided the subject. It wasn't like it caused any problems for us after all. But this was not the answer I was expecting.
ネリーが高校に入ったら全部を打ち明けようって思っていたんだけど、長い時間が過ぎたことでママたちにもわだかまりがなくなっていったの。
They're just destined to be siblings.
それで最近パパと会うようになってね。昔のことが嘘のように仲良く話せるようになっていたの。
もう一度やり直さないかという話になったんだ。どうだろう、ネリー。一緒に暮らしてくれないかな。
Y'all, I also want to live with Kakashi. I mean, no,
空白の時間は長いが、やっぱり家族は全員で過ごすのが一番だと思うんだ。
Stop it. You can't just decide everything. This is my life too. Quit smiling like you think you're doing what's best for me. I hate you. I hate this. I hate everything. Every new word they said felt like it ripped another hole in my heart. Were they monsters? Did they not realize they were ruining everything? Taking away everything that made me happy?
どうだろうってそんな。ネリーは。
I wanted to say, I think it's the worst idea in the world, but I bit my tongue. Yes, I was still shaken by all this new information. And yes, I was still angry about them doing this behind my back. But that was all irrelevant in the face of the fact that Mell was my actual blood-related big brother. Even if I opposed their marriage and stopped them from moving in, it wouldn't change anything. There was nothing I could do to fix it.
ねえ、本当に血のつながった兄弟なの？何かの間違いってことはないの？
それはママが保証するわ。あなたたちは正真正銘の兄弟よ。
二人ともこんなに似ているんだ。疑いようがないだろう。
ネリー、僕と兄弟だっていうのはそんなに嫌なことなのかな。僕たち仲良くやれてたし、正直喜んでもらえるんじゃないかって思っていたんだ。僕は
Mel, you
嬉し
are
かったし
thrilled
さ。
because you don't have these feelings toward Nellie, but Nellie isn't because she had different feelings. Lovey-dovey feelings.
嬉しかった。
そうだよ。ネリーと話すのは楽しいし、兄弟だって分かって納得できた部分もあるんだ。僕が君を見て気になる子だなって思っていた理由さ。小さい時に君を見ていたからだ。3歳の頃の記憶なんてほとんど残っていないし、君だって赤ちゃんの頃とは全然違うだろうけど。
Oh, so he saw his sister in her.
やっぱりなんとなく妹がいるっていうのを覚えていたんだと思う。だからこうして改めて顔を合わすことができて嬉しいんだよ。あ、ごめん。君が僕や父さんと一緒に過ごしたくないって思うのならそれで構わないんだ。何せ急なことだものね。
ううん、そうじゃないの。ネリーも嬉しいわ。メルと一緒に過ごせるなんて。
あ、そっか、よかった。
That part wasn't a lie. Of course I wanted to be around him. Of course I wanted to spend as much time as I could with him. But still, I couldn't bring myself to be excited about it. Because we were going to be together as family, as brother and sister. Nothing more. Had Mell only been so gentlemanly in France because some part of him realized I was his sister? Did he not see me as a girl at all? Was all that progress I was so excited about just a figment of my imagination? Afterwards, I just spaced out. Everyone was talking about how excited they were for all the fun things we would do together, but it felt like they were actors on stage and I was in the audience at the very back. They tried to cheer me up, tried to say I could tell them anything. But no, I couldn't. I could never tell them what was really troubling me. Besides, they seemed to be enjoying themselves just fine without me. I couldn't barge in on that and say, no, I don't want us to be family. I could read the room well enough to realize that. Mom was always telling me I was spoiled and self-centered. But the truth was, I held myself back plenty. We had supper together that night, and then Mell and his dad went back to their house. Mom tried to get them to stay the night, but his dad turned her down, saying I probably needed time to process everything. And he was right. I was on the verge of breaking down already. If Mell was to stay the night, I probably would have snapped. Maybe his dad could see that the smile I was putting on was fake. And then, when they were gone, Mom started acting really let down, and seeing her like that, I almost blew up at her. Whose fault did she think this was anyway? Why was she acting like I was the one being unreasonable? Maybe she should look in a mirror. But I bit my tongue before I started lashing out at her. It was easy to get upset at her, and as far as I was concerned, I had every right to be. But the problem was, yelling at her wouldn't solve anything. I could yell and shout and scream until my throat went raw, but it wouldn't do anything to soothe my aching heart. I could run away in a fit of rage, and it still wouldn't change a thing. It would be anger for its own sake, and it would wear me thin. There was no solution. My only choice was to face reality. Oh, what a cozy room! And all the plushies. But I couldn't just snap my fingers and tell myself to move on. It wasn't that easy, not even close. I spent the whole night letting off steam, screaming on the inside about everyone and everything, hurling my favorite stuffed animals around my room, pounding my fists into my pillows until they were flat. Anything to vent even a little bit of frustration, until I passed out from exhaustion. When I woke up the next morning, my face was covered in dried streaks of tears. I couldn't go to school looking like this. So I told my mom I was feeling ill and stayed holed up at home all day. But no matter how frustrating or infuriating life gets, time only ever moves forward. It doesn't stop to let you collect yourself, and it especially doesn't go backwards. So things kept progressing around me, not giving me a chance to come to terms with any of it. And then, before I knew it, a full week had passed.
深呼吸よ、深呼吸。なんでもないように振る舞わなきゃ。これからは家族よ、家族。ネリーはただの妹。そんな簡単に割り切れたら苦労しないわよ。なんなの本当に。ネリーはずっと見てたのに。校舎の窓越しにずっと。
I had been blue all week long. 7 chaotic days was all it took for my mom and Mel's dad to finalize their remarriage. I didn't raise any objections, so everything rushed along unhindered. They filed all the paperwork, and now we were officially a family, though it didn't feel like it one bit. Officially a family again, I guess. It was decided that we would all be living together in my mom's house moving forward. And now I was standing outside, waiting for Mell to arrive. Obviously, I was nervous about suddenly having 2 new people living in the house. But we had spare rooms, and it was Mel's dad who owned the house, so I had no place to complain. Supposedly, the reason my mom got the house instead of him was because I had just been born, and he wanted to make sure I could be raised comfortably. Mel's dad said he tried again and again over the years to convince Mom to let him see me, but every time she always sent him away. Because of that, a week ago was the first time I'd ever met Mel's dad, so I was having trouble bringing myself to call him my dad, even if we were blood related. I felt kind of bad about it too, because he did seem really happy to see me, so I decided I would at least try to do it when I was talking to him. Plus, how Mom was treating him seemed really unfair, completely cutting him out of our lives and then bringing him back again out of the blue. The way he bent over backwards to do whatever we needed sure made it seem like he was trying to make up for something. So maybe he was at fault for the divorce. But that didn't mean Mom was innocent. Anyway, I didn't know what happened back then, and I wasn't interested in finding out either. I was socially adept enough to know that you shouldn't try to dig up dirt on people right as they were celebrating having put in the past. I wasn't that stupid. Though, for the most part, I was just indifferent to it all. I loved relationship drama, but only between kids my age or celebrities. That was fun to talk about, but how was I supposed to react to my parents' relationship drama? And not just everyday drama, all the nasty stuff that had led to them getting divorced. I couldn't think of anything else. Anyway, getting off track. So Mom and Mel's dad suggested we go on a family vacation to celebrate us all getting back together. And that I was absolutely 100% against, so...
あの車かしら。とにかく沈んでばかりじゃダメよ。せっかくメルを迎えるんだから笑顔にならないと。確かにすぐに割り切ることなんてできないけど、メルと一緒に暮らせること自体は夢のような話だわ。だから余計に悲しい気持ちと嬉しい気持ちで板挟みになっちゃうんだけど、今は無理やりにでも前向きにならなきゃだわ。
As the car got closer, I could see it was moving company's van. It parked in front of our house, and the passenger's door swung open.
あ、ネリー。まさか玄関で待っててくれたの？そんなことしなくても普通にチャイムを押したのに。
そこはもっと喜んでくれるところじゃない？ネリーはメルの到着を今か今かと待っていたのよ。
They're like still doing the same expressions, even though it's a different style. I love it.
ごめん。ありがとう。嬉しいよ。
もっと気心が知れた仲だったら飛びついたりできたのかも。遅いわお兄様なんて言って。なんでお兄ちゃんじゃなくてお兄様なのかしら。変なの。王子様呼びしてたから。まあいっか。
Well, if you only knew.
荷物運ぶの手伝ってあげるわ。あんまり重たいのは持てないけどね。
ありがとう。助かるよ。部屋まで運ぶのは業者さんがやってくれるから、段ボールの開封を手伝ってくれると嬉しいな。
わかったわ。任せてちょうだい。
I'd never moved in my life, so it was kind of mesmerizing watching the moving man carry all Mell's boxes in. It sure didn't seem like he had all that much stuff though. Was it normal to only need a handful of boxes when moving? Or was Mell just super good at packing?
なんとか一段落ついたかな。ありがとうネリー。手伝ってくれて。
This is also a cozy room.
全然大変じゃなかったから大丈夫よ。むしろ少なすぎないかしら。本当に荷物はこれだけなの？
うん。あんまり色々と買う方じゃなくてさ。でもおかげで持ち運ぶのも楽に済んだし、よかったよ。
やっぱり荷物はあれだけだったんだ。本当に最低限って感じだわ。着回しできそうな服に学校の本に。
And that is okay.
なんかちょっ とイメージと違うかも。シンプルな生活が好きなのかしら。メルは趣味みたいなのはあんまりないの？好きなこととか。
Well, don't you remember that he likes history really much?
趣味か。そうだね。これと言ってないかも。本を読むのは好きな方だけど、読書家ってほどでもないしね。
ちょっと意外だわ。同年代の男の子たちはゲームとかスポーツとか何かしら熱中してたわ。メルはストイックなのね。
ストイックってそういうんじゃないよ。ただ、いや、なんでもないんだ。そういうネリーは？
ああ、ネリーは音楽が好きよ。自分でもよく歌うし、好きなバンドのコンサートに行ったりもするし、あとね、オペラも興味あるわ。
オペラってすごいな。14歳の趣味にしてはリッチだね。
Indeed.
ママが好きなの。それで小さい頃から何度か連れて行かれて、最近良さが分かってきた感じかしら。
へえ、そうなんだ。すごいね。
あれ、なんかちょっと反応が悪い？ネリーの気にしすぎかしら。それにさっき何か言いかけたような。
あ、それで今日はどうしようか。
そうよね。
Mel had moved in without his father today because he and Mom were on vacation together. It was originally planned to be a family trip, as mentioned earlier, but I was having trouble enough coming to terms with things as is. So I said I didn't want to go, and when I wouldn't budge, they decided they would just cancel the trip instead. Which also made me feel bad, because there I was again, going around and ruining their plans because I was self-centered brat. At which point, Mel threw me a lifeline.
じゃあ旅行は2人で行ってきたら？積もる話もたくさんあるだろうし、新婚みたいに楽しんできたらいいよ。正直僕もこの前パリに行ったばかりで、今すぐ旅行って気持ちにはなれないんだよね。勉強も溜まっちゃってるし。でもせっかくの機会なんだし、旅行自体を保護にするのはもったいないって。仕事も都合をつけてきたんだろ。だったら僕たちのことは気にしないでよ。その方がこっちも気楽だしさ。
あの時は本当に助かったわ。あの人たち何でもかんでも勝手に決めちゃうんだから、浮かれすぎにも程があるわよ。
確かにネリーのお母さんってば旅行の話をするとき10代の女の子みたいにはしゃいでいたね。見てるこっちが恥ずかしくなったよ。
The second-hand embarrassment when she started jumping around like a little girl was pretty painful. Mel can get second-hand embarrassment pretty easily, it sounds like.
あとネリーのお母さんじゃなくて僕の母でもあるのか。なかなか慣れないよね、こういうの。
やっぱりメルだって戸惑っているんだわ。ネリーだけがオロオロしてるわけじゃなかったのね。ちょっとほっとしたかも。
それに助け舟ってわけでもないさ。僕だって2人の間に挟まるのは嫌だったもの。家でゆっくりしていた方がずっといいよ。
Right, he did like to be at home.
そうよね、そうよね。じゃあ早速だけどお昼にする？まだちょっと早いけど動いたらお腹空いてきたし。
いいね、そうしよう。お昼は何にするつもりなの？もしかして作ってくれ？
もちろんピザを注文するわ。
Pizza!
あ あんなに不健康な食べ物はいけませんとか言ってママったら宅配ピザを許してくれないのよ。そういう割にはママの料理だって揚げ物ばっかりで体の悪さだったら変わらないわ。むしろピザの方が健康的。
I mean, she's not wrong.
一瞬でも女の子の料理を期待した僕がバカだった。ちなみにネリーって料理はできるのかい？
やったことないわ。
家庭科の授業とかあるよね。
あんなのやったうちに入らないわよ。全部丸焦げにしちゃったし。
Now Mel is like, I'm gonna starve. When's our mother coming back?
そこまで失敗できるのもある種の才能だよ。
でもね、お菓子作りはたまにするのよ。そうだわ、メルのためにたくさんお菓子を作ってあげる。明日はクッキーで、明後日はチョコケーキ、しあさってはプディング。3食お菓子でもいいわ。
それこそ病気になっちゃうよネリー。明日から料理は僕が作ろう。
And he sounds so bummed out about it too.
もう到着したみたい。宅配ピザって早いのね。
僕が取ってくるよ。お金はそこの棚にしまっているんだっけ？ネリーはテーブルの準備をしてくれる？
任せて。お客さんが来た時用の綺麗なテーブルクロス敷いちゃおうっと。すごいすごい、こんなに大きなピザは初めて見たわ。コーラもあるし、アメリカのドラマみたい。
大げさだな。ネリーはもっと上品なのが好きなんだと思ってたよ。ほらアフタヌーンティーとかさ。
もちろん好きだけど、いつもお上品にしてたら疲れちゃうでしょ。それに今はママがいないんだし、目いっぱいダラダラするの。
例えばポテチを食べながらソファーでゴロゴロしてドラマをぶっ通しで見続けたり。
そういうのがしたいわ。今日はドラマを見る日にしちゃいましょ。家事も宿題も何にもしないわ。
Ah, sounds like a wonderful day.
もうネリーったらはしゃぎすぎだよ。でもたまにはそういうのもいいかもね。
でしょでしょ。引っ越し初日にめんどくさいことをするのはなしよ。楽しみになってきたわ。
ネリー楽しむのはいいけどとりあえず食べようよ。せっかく熱々で届いたのに冷めちゃうよ。
あ、そうね。じゃあいただきます。
一気に頬張るから。
We continued chatting about whatever came to mind over the freshly delivered pizza. An endless stream of laughter made even the run-of-the-mill pizza taste better than a proper home-cooked meal. Better than a meal at a high-class restaurant even. My phone buzzed. It seemed like Mom and Mel's dad were having lunch now too. She wanted to know if we were eating properly, if anything had happened, if we were doing all right. She said she felt bad about leaving us behind. Could she be any more melodramatic? I was 14. I could handle not having my mom around for a few days. Gosh, what a worrywart. I really wanted to reply saying, "We're having lunch now, and it's much more fun than your dumb vacation would have been." But I decided Mom probably wouldn't take it very well. So I went with a simple, doing perfectly fine, enjoy your trip. As much as I had mixed feelings about what Mom had done, I certainly didn't wish ill on her on her or her. I'm seeing this correctly, right? I certainly didn't wish ill on her or his vacation. But it says her or her. Not to mention, I could probably push for her to bring me back some real nice souvenirs. Anyway, I wouldn't have had nearly as good a time staying home if Mell wasn't here with me. Just being with him felt like it could make anything fun. I was anxious about being alone with him at first, but now I was just giddy about all the possibilities. We could watch TV together, we could try our hands at cooking together, maybe I could even have him help me with my homework. Mom and Mel's dad were planning to be gone for a week, but as far as I was concerned, they could stay away for a whole month. Then again, it wasn't like Mel would be leaving. We would have plenty of time to spend together even after this. And maybe after enough time, my love would turn into proper familial love. That sounds good. That sounds perfect, actually. Because then nothing unhinged will happen. No maybes. I had to make a change. You go, girl. I enjoyed being with him so much I was sure I'd be able to make it work. I had nothing to worry about. Yeah, everything was going to be just fine.
あ、ネリー、そのグラス僕がキッチンに持っていくよ。
今指先が触れたわ。やっぱり心配することだらけよ。そう簡単に気持ちなんて切り替えられないわ。
This is gonna be a very long years for Nellie. But she's trying. Just as I said we would, we spent the day lazing about watching TV. For supper, we had leftover pizza. Before I knew it, the sun had set and it was almost time for bed. As lazy I had been, though, I wasn't about to skip my shower. Mell offered to let me go first, which I did appreciate, but I also wished he would put himself first sometimes. He was family now, after all. So I made him take the first shower, and now...
どうしよう。なんだか意識してきちゃったわ。だってシャワーを浴びているってことは今メルは
Nellie! Get a grip! Get a grip! Get a grip!
ダメよダメ。ネリーの変態。なんてこと考えているのよ。でもメルだってこの家での生活に慣れてきたら無防備な姿でリビングをうろうろするかもしれないし。
Familiar love, Nellie! I'm trying to hypnotize you! Familiar love! Woo! Do I have any fairy dust?
だってドラマではよくあるものね。男兄弟がパンツ一枚でうろちょろして妹が「ちょっとお兄ちゃん服着てくれない?」とかいうシーン。さすがに初日でそんなことにはならないと思うけど、でも無防備な部屋着で出てくる可能性はなきにしもあらずだわ。
Girl! Take your own advice!
おいネリー、シャワー上がったよ。お次どうぞ。
そうするわ。どんな部屋着なのかしら。
He's probably wearing a teddy bear suit, right? No, that's so cute! She's not impressed. I love this. I love this. She's so bummed out that she didn't get to see him topless.
どうかした？
ださ、その服、子供っぽすぎない？
There's a cat on it.
そうかな。ほら、前に言ったニャッキーパンチの T シャツだよ。可愛いと思うんだけどな。
Right.
メルって私服のセンスは悪くないのに、なんで部屋着だとそうなるのよ。
It's his interest.
そんなに幻滅するほどでもないだろ。部屋着は気楽に着られるものが一番いいじゃないか。
I feel like she's gonna be like, well, I'd rather you have a barrel and suspenders, or just suspenders.
そうね。でもそれ、家の中だけにしてね。王子様が台無し。
そこまで引く？だいたい王子様って何なのさ。
こっちの話よ。じゃあネリーもシャワー浴びてくるわね。うっかりいつもの部屋着にしちゃったけど、
Cute.
このネグリジェよく考えたらセクシーすぎないかしら。
I don't think he's gonna think anything of it.
ママと二人暮らしの時は女同士だったし、ネリーも背伸びしたかったからこれでいいわって思っていたけど。
Maybe a little too dressed up, but it's cute. I like the purple.
いくら実の兄とはいえ、生まれてからずっと会ってなかった男の人の前でこの格好は不死だらじゃない？
I think you're thinking about it way too much.
でもアメリカドラマの女の子はもっと開放的だし、これくらいどうってことな。
あれ、ネリー、もうシャワーから上がってきたんだ。意外と早いね。女の子はもっとゆっくり入るんだと思ってた。あ、ごめん。急に話しかけて驚かしちゃった。寝る前にキッチンで水を飲んでいこうと思ってさ、通りがかったものだから。
そうなんだ。その
He's like, what? Am I supposed to see something?
じゃあもう夜も遅いし、ドラマを見る会はお開きだね。僕はもう部屋に戻るよ。また明日ね。
Acting like a proper brother.
無反応だったんだけど。
Although, if it was my brothers, they'd be like, what the heck is that? Why is it ugly? Even though it isn't ugly, they'd still be like, oh, that's so ugly.
待って、このお洋服どうかしら。
Nellie!
どうってかわいいワンピースなんじゃない？ちょっとまだ寒そうなデザインだけどね。じゃあおやすみ。
I love that he does not have a care.
ワンピースじゃなくてネグリジェよ。
As if he knows the difference.
メルのあの反応、一つ屋根の下に 女の子が住んでいるようなものには思えないわ。
It's you who's overthinking it.
やっぱりメルにとっては妹以上には思えないのかしら。それが正しいじゃない、メリー。だって妹以上に見えちゃったら待っているのはただの地獄よ。
What was it that you said about familiar love? Yes. That is something you should strive for. And indeed, misery for everyone.
ここが今日から僕が寝起きする部屋か。前よりはずっといいけど、振り回されっぱなしだよ。でも、どうせ家族ごっこなんかあと1年だ。高校を出たら、この家だって出ていくさ。でも、ネリー、あの子があんなに慕ってくれたのは予想外だな。彼女が気に入っているのも、どうせ僕の外側なんだろうけど。
What? The
ねえ
garden!
ところで、あなたの大事な女の子って誰だったんでしょうね。今のあなたなら、バラの時代のこともわかるのでしょう。かつては大事にしていた妹を、バラの時代では気持ち悪いって言って遠ざけたんですよね。ねえ、あなたって本当はひどい人だったのね。
Stop this Mell slander! Nah, I will not have it. I will not have it. Morgana, this is bullshit, and you know it. This is bullshit. What do you mean? A terrible person? Nah. Do not lump him together with Jacopo and Yukimasa. Mm-mm.
あなたみたいな人が大切だとか大事だとか上辺だけの言葉を吐いているのを見ると笑いが止まりませんよ。
Morgana, sometimes you are just very wrong. I will not have any Mell slander here.
お兄様、お兄様に恋人ができたら、ネリーはたくさん泣いて、たくさん嫉妬をして、
Oh my
たくさん
god.
怒るわ。
It's a throwback to door one.
でも、いつかは諦めたわ。だって仕方のないことだもの。報われないって分かってたもの。なのに、どうして、妹だったの？
It was a curse, okay?
なんだ今の夢。妙に生々しくて変な感じが。一人の女の子が僕をひたすら憎んでいて、もう一人の女の子が苦しそうに泣いている。どっちも身に覚えのないことのはずなのに、覚えてないということ自体がひどく罪深いような。それにもう一人の女の子の声は ネリーのものだったような気がする。
Flashbacks.
ただの夢だよ。考えすぎだ。だってあの子とはずっと会ってなかったんだ。お兄様なんて呼ばれたこともない。それともあんな夢を見てしまうくらい思っている以上に気にかけているのかな。
No, that's not it.
確かに一緒にいると楽しいし、あの子が妹でよかったって思っているけど、何にせよ夢は夢だ。寝直そう。
Just a bad dream. Go to sleep.
でもこんな風に寝苦しい夜も懐かしい気がするな。
Maybe we'll meet up with the white-haired girl as well. It would be really nice if she actually also got reincarnated.
ねえ、起きて。メル、ねえってば。
Y'all, I'm scared. I'm scared that she will be wearing the white-haired girl's wig. You know that image. I'm scared. Oh, great. We didn't get jump scared.
ああ、何事ってネリーか。そんな大声を出して起こさないでも。
あら、だってメルってば何度声をかけてもぐっすりなんだもの。意外とお寝坊さんなのね。
He could barely sleep.
そこまで寝坊したかな。っていうか勝手に部屋に入ってくるのはちょっと。
いいじゃない。だって家族なんでしょ。だったら気にすることなんてないわ。さ、早くリビングに降りてね。今日はネリーが朝食を作ったんだから。楽しみにしててね。
なんて嵐のような目覚めなんだろう。
I ended up not getting much sleep last night because of that dream. Which was strange, since normally I didn't have any trouble sleeping, even in unfamiliar environments. But anyway, I needed to get changed and head down to the living room quickly. If I dawdled for too long, Hurricane Nellie might decide to come back around for a second visit. I had been planning to make breakfast for both of us, so I wasn't sure how to feel about her having beaten me to the punch. It would be fine, right?
これはなんというか朝食っていうよりもおやつだね。それも胸焼けしそうな。
Diabetes on a plate, what the frick? What? She has a Marie Antoinette kind of breakfast. It was anything but fine. I'd stumbled into the living room still half asleep, but when I saw what was spread out on the table, I jolted awake in an instant. Nellie stood in front of it, her arms spread wide and a giant grin on her face. Some kind of freshly baked pastries drenched in chocolate, decorated with whipped cream and sprinkles. And inexplicably with a candle sticking out of each one. My mind would have preferred to believe this a continuation of my nightmare, rather than accept the dizzying saccharine fog hanging in the living room as reality.
胸焼け？そんなおじいちゃんみたいなこと言わないで。食べてみたら絶対気に入るから。ほら、
That for sure isn't to be eaten that early at breakfast, but you know. You only live once.
食べるって食べるけど、あんはやめてほしいな。一緒にいるのは楽しいけど、さすがにこのままの食生活だと身が持たない。
How long did they say they were gonna be alone? 1 week, right? He's not gonna die in 1 week. Ever so slowly, I carried a forkful into my mouth and was practically knocked out cold by an onslaught of sugary violence. Good description. It was so intense, I wanted to munch on a salt lick just to counter the sweetness. After forcing myself through 1 chocolate death cake, Nellie giddily announced that I was welcome to as many more as I wanted. Chocolate death cake. I politely turned her down.
それで今日は何をして遊ぶ？
Nellie looked up at me with a glimmer in her eyes. It was Sunday and we had nothing scheduled for that day.
そうだな。外に出かけた方がいいかもね。
昨日はずっとドラマを見てたものね。じゃあどこに行く？動物園？遊園地？それともショッピング？
スーパーに行って食材と日用品を買ってこよう。いい加減料理もしていかないと。あと家事もしよう。
Sounds like a plan.
何それ地味。ママ不在の優雅な1週間にふさわしくないわ。だいたいご飯なら毎日宅配ピザでいいじゃない。
1週間後には洋服が入らなくなっているかもね。それでもいいのかい？
Nothing's gonna happen on 1 week.
それはわかったわ。じゃあスーパーに行きましょう。でもその後は遊びに行くのよね。
その後は宿題をしよう。ネリー、明日は学校だよ。土日分の宿題が出ているはずだけど、何もやっていないだろう？
でもせっかくお引っ越ししてきたばかりなのに、こういう時くらいサボったって罰は当たらないわ。
それはダメ。宿題はちゃんとやらないと。じゃないと次のお休みが来ても一緒に遊ばないよ。
She's gonna be like, is that a threat?
メルは意地悪だわ。
こうしているとずいぶん小さな妹と接しているような気持ちになるな。3つしか離れていないのが嘘みたいだ。
Yeah, she wanna eat donuts and chocolate death cakes all day.
じゃあネリーに宿題を教えて。それならお勉強するわ。
それならもちろん。よし、じゃあ支度をして出かけようか。
With our plan finally hammered out, we headed to a nearby grocery store. As we pursued the store, I had to fend off Nellie trying to throw every kind of junk food imaginable into the cart. And even when she chose items we did need, she always seemed to select the most expensive variety. I wish she would be more conscientious of the fact that we had a budget to maintain. When I asked if this was how she always shopped, she said that no, today was a special occasion. Apparently, she wanted a taste of a noble's lifestyle, which got a stifled chuckle out of me when she said it. Somehow, I don't think actual nobles spend much time in a grocery store. And, formalities aside, she had essentially lived like nobility her whole life. Want for nothing. Every time she said or did something oblivious to the concept of the money, it was like a punch to my gut. But I did my best to feign my amusement, just laughing along with her. When we returned home, we split the chores between the two of us. Nellie, however, didn't seem to have much experience doing work around the house. I had to step in to stop her from putting away too much detergent in the washing machine, and then again from mixing chemicals that would create a noxious gas when combined. All in all, it was a minor disaster, and I ended up doing more work than if I handled it all myself. But the excitement was also strangely enjoyable. And she did listen attentively when I told her what she was doing wrong. Before her mom left, as she was heading out the door, she leaned in and whispered to me, "I hope Nellie's not too much of a handful. She can be very inconsiderate and a bit of a brat sometimes." And while she was indeed a bit self-absorbed, Nellie was a pleasant ball of joy most of the time. Maybe she was only bratty to her mother. It wasn't hard to imagine Nellie pushing back against every little thing if her mother was constantly in her hair, which was the impression I had of them. That degree of attention was proof of how much she loved her daughter. But a girl Nellie's age might not see it the same way. I was able to make that observation mostly because I didn't have a nagging parent in my life, and the one I had, being a guy, might have contributed as well. Though he always felt less like a parent and more a roommate, which I guess was because he usually seemed more concerned about his ex-wife than me. In fact, I frequently got the impression he was just using my presence as a way to convince her to let him see her again. Dad did also make an effort to raise me as best he could, so I wasn't going to accuse him of neglect or anything. But there was still a constant sense that I was not very high on his or anyone's priority list. For Dad, his ex-wife was the most important person in his life. For her, my mom, Nellie was, which left no one to have me at the top of their list. Nellie's face flashed through my mind. Well, you are her top priority. Did I think she would be willing to love me most? That was a lot to hope for of a sister who barely knew me. This literally me though.
まだ勉強を始めてから30分も経ってないよネリー。それに朝あんなに糖分を取ったのにまだ取る気なんだ。
甘いものは常に別腹なのよ。お菓子を食べ過ぎるとママが怒るんだけど、見つからないようにお部屋にも隠しているの。
Oh, but you don't have anything stashed away now, do you? I see a lot of places where she could, just stash it away. Nellie rifled through her desk drawer, pulling out a tin of cookies. I was impressed she didn't put on more weight with how much she snacked. Or maybe she was small because snacking was all she did. Either way, it was my first time in Nellie's room, and there was a lot to take in. More stuffed animals than I could count, photos of musicians plastering the walls, stacks of CDs, a stockpile of makeup, books.
あの本って今度ドラマになる原作だよね。クラスでも女子が騒いでたな。もう読んだの？も
ちろん読んだわ。だって超流行ってるのよ。話を知っておかないと話題に入れないじゃない。
そうなんだ。 女の子はいろいろと大変だね。それでどんな話だったの？
ティーンエイジャーの群像劇なのよ。みんなリアルな悩みを抱えてて、わかるわかるって感じなの。それでね、ネリーが応援している女の子は最新刊で衝撃の真実が明らかになったのよ。実はその子が好きな相手はね、血がつながってて。
どうしたのネリー？
なんでもないわ。ちょっと思うところがあっただけで。
そう。でもその子は大変だね。他の要因だったらどうにかなりそうだけど、血がつながってたら諦めるしかないよ。
You hear that, Nellie? Let go.
本当に諦めるしかないのかしら。例えば二人のことを知らないところに駆け落ちしちゃうとか。
No.
そんなの現実的じゃないだろ。誰も知らないところへ行ったとしても血のつながりは変えようがないんだし。
Set her straight, Mell.
フィクションの中ならなんとかなるかもしれないけどね。めでたしめでたしで強引にエンディングにしちゃってさ。でも現実の世界はその後も人生が続くんだ。めでたしでおしまいになんかできない。社会の中で幸せに生きていきたいのなら別の人を探した方がいいに決まっている。
But not Arthur. If he's not a very changed guy. He needed an entire personality swap.
でもほら、そのドラマは作り物だしさ、くっついてハッピーエンドにしちゃってもありなんじゃないかな。
そうね。ドラマならそうできるかもしれないわね。
Nellie, don't break the fourth wall and tell us that this is a story.
まさかと思うけど、ネリーは僕のことを。
I considered myself fairly inept at reading people, but Nellie was so blatant about it, even someone as dense as me could pick up on the signals. He's like, oh, troublesome.
いや、まさかね。兄弟なんだぞ。それこそありえないし、ネリーだってそれくらい分かっているはず。
About that, door one!
僕の思い込みだ。そうに違いない。
I could only see Nellie as a sister, nothing more. It was true I had taken a minor interest in her before we properly met. But that was only because, as I told her, I felt as though we'd met somewhere before. Which, in retrospect, was probably because I subconsciously recognized her as family. I was curious about her because she was my sister. But what about her? Nellie had no memory of me at all. She was still a baby when our parents split up, so she couldn't possibly have recognized me, even unconsciously. It would be harder for her to recategorize me from boy she knows to older brother. Could my moving in feel to her like any other older guy suddenly intruding on her space? Regardless of how it felt, though, we were still siblings. Nothing could sever the blood that bound us. So even if she did, by some impossible chance, have non-sisterly feelings for me now, they would surely fade in time. Everyone just hope. At worst, it would be nothing more than a fleeting adoration. Adoration. She would sort through whatever she was feeling soon enough, and that would be the end of that. There were billions of other men in the world after all, exactly. Regardless, it would probably be smart to keep some distance until that happened. At first I had thought it best to try and break the ice as quickly as possible, since we'd be family our whole lives. But there was a definite possibility that doing so would only make things worse. Obviously though, it'd be preferable if I were overthinking the whole thing.
ネリ
You're
ー、
not.
宿題に戻ろうか。一区切りついたら僕も部屋に戻るよ。自分の宿題は落ち着いて取り掛かりたいしね。
ここで宿題をすればいいじゃない。ネリーだってそんなにうるさくしないわ。
周りに誰かがいると集中しにくいんだ。ごめん、悪気はないんだよ。納得してくれるといいんだけど。
わかったわ。そうね、高学年のお勉強はネリーのとは違うものね。今日は邪魔しないようにするわ。でもお夕飯は一緒に食べましょう。
うん、そうだね。
We spent most of the day in our own rooms, a drastic departure from yesterday. I felt kind of bad about lying to Nellie, knowing how excited she was to have me around. But what I'd said about not being able to concentrate with other people around was just an excuse to get some alone time. Then again, having a little space was probably normal for kids our age. Having alone time is so freaking important. Like, I will break down if I don't have alone time. I need my space. Certainly more so than being attached at the hip. And if Nellie's feelings for me did extend beyond simple familial love, then I wanted to keep a nice, safe distance. That was just something I wasn't equipped to deal with. A question fluttered through my mind. What did I feel about her? She was a sweet girl, there was no denying that. I was glad to have her as my sister, that was true as well. And frankly, I enjoyed the affection, which was why I wanted to stay squarely in the brother-sister category. The question was that everything? Don't think about it too much, Mell. You're gonna confuse yourself. Was there nothing else to my feelings for her? Deep down in my gut, something told me that wasn't the case. That there was some crucial piece missing. Like a vow of some sort. It's because of the past. But what could it be? When could I have made a vow to her? At what point in my life was there even room for such a significant exchange to have taken place? It's the prince vow. None as far as I was aware. The next day, we had school. We took the same bus from home, and then split up partway. Hold on. I'm trying... Ah! Okay. This is the proper saves. I see. Seeing glass. Okay, 10-15 more minutes, then we go back to just chatting. EA was mixing detergents. It would make cleaning better, he thought. Dang. I never mix anything, so I think I'm safe. Oh, but that didn't stop her from texting me like crazy. I must have had to pull my phone out between every single class. Because by the end of the day, I'd lost track of how many people had asked if I'd gotten a girlfriend. Hopefully, that would also settle down over time. I wondered how she would have been if our parents hadn't split up. If we'd grown up together, would she be any less clingy? No. Nope, nope, nope. I would say she becomes even more clingy. Would she hate me like other girls her age hated their older brothers? Had we just not been together long enough for her to find anything she disliked about me yet? But something told me she wouldn't be any different, even without those 14 years apart. Was I letting the attention get to my head, though? Or was that just what I wanted to believe? That there was someone who would love me unconditionally, and that it would be a pure familial kind of love, with none of the messiness inherent in the romantic kind. I really hope for your sake. Was I just trying to project that fairy tale ideal onto my sister? Because if that was what I was doing, then I really was the worst kind of human scum. Oh no, you are not. You're just wishing for familial love. It would mean that I wanted her affection, but only if it was safe and utterly detached from the person giving it. Because, you know, we've already seen how this ends. It was a Friday night, almost a week since Mell had moved in. Mom and Mel's dad could be coming back from their vacation tomorrow, meaning this was the last night I would have alone with him. So if possible, I want to spend as much of it as I could with him, but he'd been strangely distant these past few days. He wasn't being mean to me or anything, and we still made and ate supper together all week, and it was lots of fun and all, but it wasn't enough. I want to spend all day with him, like we did his first day here. Was that asking too much? Was I being too clingy and scared him off? Or was this how siblings were supposed to be? Today, like every other day this week, we had supper together and then spent the rest of the evening isolated in our rooms. Most nights, I was able to enjoy myself alone just fine, but emptiness won out tonight. Watching videos on my phone, reading the latest big hit book, listening to my favorite albums. I tried everything, but none of it was any fun.
ちょっと様子を見に行こうかしら。お茶でもしましょうって気軽に話しかけるの。重たい感じにしないで何でもない風に。それくらいならきっと大丈夫よね。
I'd done my best all week to not be overly clingy with him. So I'd pretty much earned this last night together, hadn't I?
だから何度も言ってるじゃないか。
あら？話し声？誰かと電話しているのかしら。聞き耳を立てるのは良くないけど。
Is he talking with his father?
1年間は家族ごっこに付き合う。でも18になったら出ていくって気持ちは変わらないよ。わがまま？勝手なのは父さんたちだろ。全部言うこと聞いてきたんだ。こっちの言い分だって通してくれ。大体。
Oh, she's gonna think he hates her.
ねえ、メル。今の、本当せっかく一緒に暮らせるようになったのに、出ていくの？それに、家族 ごっこって。
ネリー、ちょっと待って。父さん、電話を切るよ。この件はまた話すから。困ったな。よりによってこんな話を聞かれるなんて。聞き耳を立てるのは良くないよ、ネリー。
Uh-oh.
それは悪いと思っているわ。でもあんな言葉が聞こえてきたら。ねえ、どういうことなの？メール、答えて。
別に大したことじゃないよ。ネリーと同じさ。君だって最初はいきなり家族だなんて言われて戸惑っていただろう。
でもメルはあの時前向きだったじゃない。嫌だったんならあの時にネリーと一緒に文句を言えばよかったわ。
再婚自体は嫌じゃない。むしろそれを願っていたんだ。1年後には大学への進学が決まってるっていうのに、その時にバタバタされたら大変だしさ。
だったらなんで家族ごっこなんて言ったの？メルの考えてることがちっともわからないわ。
わからない？むしろ普通に考えたら誰でもわかることだと思うけど、それとも君にはわからないのかな。何不自由なく生活してきたんだろうしね。
なんでそんな言い方。メルらしくないわ。そんな風にトゲのある言い方をするなんて。
She really does have like this image of Mel, as if she knows what kind of person he is, but you don't know. You can have like an idealized image of someone, but once they don't fit that mold, I think maybe it could also benefit Nellie. Like she'd be like, oh, he's not the prince that I imagined him to be.
僕らしくない？そんなことないよ。僕は結構卑屈だし、嫌なことも言うやつなんだ。君に見せてこなかっただけ。だいたい1週間程度で僕の何がわかるって言うんだ。それは君のこともそうだけどさ。
At least he's true to himself.
君は今まで疑問に思ってこなかったの？この広い家のローンは誰が払っているんだろうとか、生活費はどこから出ているんだろうとか。
And that's maybe why he had so few boxes and, you know, simple. Like, it's so simplistic.
君はお小遣いで好きなものを買えるし、旅行にも行けるよね。でもそのお金って君のお母さんの仕事だけじゃ賄えない金額だと想像はつかなかった？まあお金のことなんて生活が大変じゃなければ考えないか。つまり全部父さんが養育費として払っていたんだよ。もうこの際だからはっきり言うよ。この家に戻ってきて最初に思ったのは、随分余裕のある暮らしをしているんだなってことだった。僕らが質素な生活をしている分、君や君のお母さんが楽に暮らしていたのだと思うと苦い思いがしたよ。腹が立つって言い換えてもいいかも。あんなにニコニコ笑って接しておきながら、裏ではこんなことを考えてたんだよ。
That's understandable.
だいたい母さんに関して言えば僕の母でもあるのに、なんで？
ごめんなさい。ネリー全然そういうことに頭が回ってなくて。
And she wouldn't have known. I mean, she's only 14.
当にごめんなさい。
いや、違う。君が謝ることは一切ないんだ。君に非はないんだもの。分かっているんだよ、本当は。さっきのは君に当たっただけ。僕こそごめん。君まで辛い生活を強いられていたらそっちの方が嫌だからね。でもそういうことだからこの家に長居したくないんだよ。複雑な気持ちになるんだ。君のお母さんと僕の父さんを見ているとね。
でもメルの気持ちは分かったけど、ネリーはやっぱりここにいてほしいって思うわ。だってネリーにとってはメルが一番大事なんだもの。そばにいてほしいわ。
一番大事って、一緒に暮らしたのはたった1週間じゃないか。君の一番って随分簡単に出来上がるんだね。
Nah, it might be only a week, but this is like ingrained into her soul.
そんなこと簡単なんかじゃないわ。だってネリーはずっと。
僕のことを大切に思ってくれているのは嬉しいけど、君の気持ちも一過性のものだよ。1年も経てばおのずと君の方から出て行ってほしいって思うようになる。僕がいることで今までの生活も保てなくなるかもしれないし。
そんなことない。贅沢な生活よりもお兄様の方が大事なんだから。綺麗なお洋服もお菓子も何もいらないわ。
And we know that she did live a comfortable life in the final door. She left with Mell.
お兄様だけがネリーに必要なの。
And now she calls him this.
お兄様って、そんな呼び方今までしてこなかったのに。しかも随分と時代錯誤だね。
今のはつい口を出てしまったの。ネリーにもよくわかんない。変な子って思わないで。
変な子って思うよ。あ、ごめん、ちょっと笑っちゃった。ドラマか演劇みたいな呼び方だけど、なんでだろう。なんだか懐かしい気がしたな。僕も変だね。でもおかげで気がほぐれた。あのね、ネリー、もっと本音を言えば、君のこと嫌な子だったらよかったのにって思っている。
どういうこと？
そうしたら気兼ねなく君のことを突き放してここを出ていけるから。ほら、嫌なやつだろ。話はこれでおしまい。嫌な思いをさせてしまってごめんね。今日はもう寝よう。明日は父さんたちが帰ってくるし、笑顔で迎えてやらないと。大丈夫だよ。1年の間は波風立てないようにきちんと家族を演じるからさ。おやすみ、ネリー。もう部屋に戻って。
おやすみなさい。
I think this is a good time to end it because they said good night. And I'm also gonna say good night soon. Well, that was there. Okay, you guys, let's continue. So Nellie just went back into her room. And thank goodness she didn't act out. Just leave it be now, Nellie, okay? Just go to sleep. Go to sleep. Don't do anything rash. Crossing my fingers.
ネリーだけが勝手に浮かれていたのね。確かにちゃんと考えてみたらネリーは片親なのに裕福な方だったわ。メルはアルバイトもしているし、あの時の旅行だって偶然チケットが手に入ったからだった。家事だってネリーよりずっとできていたわ。
あのね、ネリー、もっと本音を言えば、君のこと嫌な子だったらよかったのにって思っている。そうしたら気兼ねなく君のことを突き放してここを出ていけるから。ほら、嫌なやつだろ。
メルはネリーのことを嫌いたいのかしら。そうすれば彼は楽に出ていけるようになるのかしら。でもネリーはメルのことがやっぱり好きよ。嫌われるような振る舞いはできないわ。
Oh, Nellie, you need to drop it. You really need to drop it. But we must remind ourselves, she's just 14. So this admiration, she'll drop it. She'll drop it. Just don't act out on it. Because we know that it did not go well in the first door at all. So don't spiral, okay?
彼のことを好きなまま嫌われるような振る舞いも。
What do you mean?
あるわ。たった一つだけ。
No! No, what? No! No! Nellie! No! Oh, hell no! You stay in your room! Nah! A hazy feeling lurked deep down. No! Nellie! No! That a very long time ago I'd been driven to do something unthinkable. Please don't redo the same thing. Well, she's not gonna do exactly the same thing, but maybe something close to it. At least she can't hurt the white-haired girl, right? Not caring whether or not it made them hate me, whether or not it destroyed everything I had. And what's stopping me from doing the same now? It was doomed from the beginning. So let it be that way! Nothing could make us not family. Nothing could stop him from leaving. And trying to keep my love bottled up was only going to make me miserable. Y'all, I feel like... Oh, Nellie, this is selfish. The only thing that's saving her right now is that she's just a kid. So she's just gonna act on her feelings and impulses. Oh my gosh, girl, please get a grip. He thought we'd only been together for a week, that my feelings for him were fleeting. That couldn't be further from the truth. You just haven't met your future person yet. Oh my gosh. This is so troubling. This is troubling. I'd had my eye on him forever. And maybe this made me sound like I watched too much TV. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Go back into your room! Go back in! But I was certain that if we had been together in a previous life, I would have loved him then too. Yes, because you were family. Don't get it twisted! No, no ifs. We were, and I did. I was positive. That was the only way to explain why I loved him so dearly now. Nothing else made sense. No! No! Get the frick out of his room! Y'all! I didn't think this would happen. I thought that maybe she'd just back out and, you know, understand the situation. And Mell hasn't given you anything to act on either. Like, please, please, girlie. Stay in your room. Don't say anything. Y'all, this is troublesome. Late that night, I snuck into Mel's room. I could see his chest gently moving up and down as he slept. Girl, you are being so creepy right now. Which reminded me, earlier in the week, he had been boasting about how deep a sleeper he was. So? I was kind of jealous. I had trouble sleeping any time I had something on my mind. So tonight was a lost cause, no matter how it went.
Mell, 好きよ。とっても。だから、もう少し起きないでいて。
Okay, now you can leave, Nellie. Now you can leave. Oh my gosh, I'm so worried. I prayed for this dream to last just a little bit longer. Even a few short minutes with Mell as mine would be enough. Nellie, please go back. I had so much faith. I had so much faith. Oh, don't tell me this is gonna spiral. I would savor every last moment I could get. Because when he woke, the spell would break, and everything would come crashing down.
Nani? なんかくすぐったい。ネリー、何をしているんだ。今もしかして僕の口に。
She kissed him?
そう。キスをしたのよ、メル。
Girl, you don't do that to a sleeping person! And he has not consented, y'all. He has not consented. Nellie, bad girl, bad. Go back into your room and let's rewind 2 minutes from now. Oh my gosh. Yo. I thought that she had her feelings, you know, a little bit solved after she talked with Mell. I mean, he has already told you that he does not want these kind of feelings from you. He does not harbor these. Don't push them on him. Oh my god. Girl, you are confused. Just wait a couple of years. Yeah, this is so awkward.
ねえ、メル。もしかしたらあなたも気づいていたのかもしれないけど。
Oh girl, you need to back off.
ネリーはあなたのことが好きよ。兄としてじゃなくて男の人として好きなの。
No! No! Nellie, you don't know what kind of love you have. The love she has, I think she is definitely mixing it up with like adoration. Like for example, for a celebrity, because she sees him as this perfect prince. like this ideal prince. So she has an image that she has a crush on. It's not Mell, and he's already told you. This is so troublesome. Like, imagine being Mell also in this situation. I would feel absolutely horrible and disgusted.
なんでそんなことを今言うんだ。
Boy is traumatized.
家族ごっこをするくらいならいっそ壊してしまった方がいいと思ったからよ。
No, get the freak out. Get the freak out. Mell, do not feel bad about this. Do not feel bad about this. Push her away. You have to. What a freaking horrible situation to be in. Honestly. This is horrific. How are they even gonna act normal after this? Oh my god, this is so selfish.
この気持ちを隠しながら家族として生活するのだって辛いのに、メルは家族でもなくごっこだって言ったわ。
Girl, you should have bottled these feelings up. Where's the parents? Can we just, like, call them here?
そんなのネリーにとって辛すぎる。思いを受け取ってもらえないどころか、家族としての絆もかりそめだなんて。
And who is to blame for that now? You should have just bottled it up. They had such a good week as well. And she was like, maybe I could, you know, turn this into familial love. And now you go and do this? No. Oh my god. Ugh.
だから今言うのよ。ネリーはあなたが好きだって。
Y'all, this... I feel really, really bad for Mell.
言っている意味分かっているのか。僕たちは間違いなく血がつながっているんだぞ。兄弟同士でこんなこと。
そんなの分かりきっているわ。分かった上で迫っているのよ。
Then please don't be selfish. Think about others' feelings. I'm just trying to remind myself that she's just 14. She'll grow up and she'll realize how freaking bad she made this situation.
こんなことをしたらかりそめの家族としても成り立たなくなるって分かっているんだから。
いやー、
それでも止められなかったの。一過性なんかじゃない。簡単な気持ちなんかじゃない。このまま死んでもいいくらいの強い気持ちなの。
Nah, you're 14. You're mixing up the feelings.
それくらいメルのことが好きなの。ずっと前から。
Oh my gosh, girl, please stop. Please stop. This is so uncomfortable. Like, it's super uncomfortable for me just sitting here to watch it. Y'all are probably also very uncomfortable with this. But Mell? What is he supposed to do? We know what happened in door 1. Is something similar gonna happen here? Oh my gosh.
なのにどうして兄弟なのよ。どうしてネリーは幸せになれないのよ。
Girl, you're being super dramatic. You're 14. You're just a kid. You'll find somebody else. You just think that this is the guy that you will love for the rest of your life. But this is basically a stalker celebrity crush. It's an obsession at this point.
ネリー、でも僕。
ねえメル、今ネリーが望んでいるのは2つだけよ。ネリーの気持ちを受け入れてくれるか、もう二度とあなたを好きにならないように手広く拒絶して。
Oh my gosh! You selfish little brat! He's not gonna accept your love because you're siblings, you're blood related. And he's not gonna reject you in a cruel way either, because that's not how Mell is. Like, can we even imagine Mell doing something horrible, saying something horrible to her? Like, that is not in his nature. This is such... No, Nellie, this is foul. Go into the corner and stay there for 3 days. Yes, you will get food and water.
お願いメル、選んで。
Nah. These two need to be separated. Oh my gosh. She's really pushing her feelings onto Mell. I feel so uncomfortable.
僕はごめん、どっちも選べない。
Exactly. That's what I thought. Okay, get out of the room now. Go! Somewhere, some part of me knew that was what he would say. He was too kind-hearted to force himself to be cruel to me. What did I say? What did I say? Now, back off! Stop being selfish and pushing your emotions onto him. And obviously, he could never accept my love either. But I could see in his eyes that there was more to his words. A distinct fear he was trying his best to conceal, or perhaps it was closer to disgust. Because it is disgusting! Like, imagine how he must be feeling. This was no surprise to me either. He only saw me as his sister, so of course my love would gross him out. And now is the time for you to go out of this room. Apologize. Go out of this room. And never bring it up again. Even if he didn't have any attachment to this family itself, I would never be a potential love interest for him. Any normal person would be turned off immediately by an advance from a family member. Good that you know. And also, why did you push these feelings onto him? You did not have a reason to say all of this and make him this uncomfortable. I knew how he would react before I stepped through the door. That was the goal. Oh my god, you're such a brat. Such a brat. I was here to destroy everything. That would be better than keeping him so close, but forever out of reach. Yeah. This is so selfish. This is so selfish. She's so self-centered right now. So impulsive. But I'm positive that if nothing bad happens, if nothing tragic happens after this, I'm positive that she will grow up and not be as impulsive and selfish with her feelings. And she'll eventually find someone that is not Mell. And she'll realize... Maybe she'll realize quicker what she has done. I knew what the consequences would be. She's like so self-aware as well of what she's doing, but she does not care. But knowing and experiencing are two very different things. And now that you have experienced this, walk back into your room and never do this again. Seeing his eyes go wide in surprise and his lips contort with disgust was like 1,000 knives to my heart. What did you expect? I mean, did you not expect this? It hurt. Great, go back now. My heart was in agony. Blood seeped from countless gaping wounds. My whole heart spilled forth, and I could do nothing to hold it back. Tears spilled forth, and I could do nothing to hold them back. I don't even feel bad. I don't even feel bad, because she was so selfish to do this. Like, you put yourself in this situation.
Nellie! 待って!
Oh my good. Oh my gosh. Did she run away?
分かっていたことじゃない。こうなるって泣くことなんてないじゃない。
Nellie, in Reincarnation, I am not a fan of your character. Let's just put it that way.
そんな結末だったはずよ。こうするためだったはずよ。なのにどうしてこんなに苦しいのよ。
Never do it again. Oh my gosh. I feel so freaking bad for Mell. It all happened so quickly I didn't have time to process it. Cold sweat streamed down my back. One thing was clear though, even through the heavy fog in my mind. I had made a terrible mistake. No, you haven't made a terrible mistake. She has. But now he's probably gonna blame himself, and I'm worried. I'm worried that he's gonna feel... What's it called? What's the word I'm searching for? He's gonna feel... What is the word? Forced! He's gonna feel forced to maybe reciprocate some of the feelings. Because he's scared. Oh... He also told us about how his father was with him. Like he had to grow up almost on his own, and he didn't really feel the love from either of his parents. So he was thinking that maybe this sisterly love from Nellie would replace that, and so he's gonna be afraid of losing that now. It was stupid of me to tell her I couldn't pick either option. No, it wasn't. I should have chosen one or the other. No! You didn't have to choose either! Y'all... Are you gonna be gaslit by a 14-year-old? Okay, he's only 17, so of course he can be gaslit as well, pretty easily. But... he's too kind for his own good. Because he's gonna blame himself. Just watch. He's gonna blame himself. He's already beginning to. But I still didn't know which was the right answer. I mean, obviously I couldn't accept her love. See? Obviously you can't. Oh, just because she gave you two options doesn't mean that you have to pick either option. She just gave you those two. Think outside of the box. So did that mean I should have cruelly rejected her instead? Kicked her to the ground and called her every horrible name I could think of? I could never. No, because that's not how you are.
バラの時代では気持ち悪いって言って遠ざけたんですよね。ねえ、
Morgana,
あなたって
I don't want to hear this
本当は
bullshit.
ひどい人だったのね。
I don't want to hear this bullshit. He was never a terrible brother or a terrible person. He did do one very bad thing in door 1 towards the sister. He hit her. But other than that, the frick? No, he's not even close to being either of this. And it is disgusting. And it was right to push her away. He's just being gaslit. And also by that memory. Could I really never bring myself to do that? I mean, I was hardly a saint. If she had gone just a bit further, I probably would have lashed back in a really ugly way. Of course! And you'd have the right to do it too. The biggest reason I hadn't was because I didn't want to make myself into the bad guy. And you don't have to be. And she can't make you be that either. Y'all, I'm super annoyed. I'm super annoyed with Nellie.
結局僕は僕のことしか考えていない。ネリー、あいつを追わないと。
Y'all, now he's blaming himself. I tried to get out of bed, but my legs had turned to jelly. Stay there! Stay there! How pathetic. I had nothing to be afraid of, yet here I was, unable to move. Even his body is telling him to stay. But it's not in his nature to just ignore it either. And the way that he was pushed into this situation... Oh my gosh, horrible, horrible. How will this end? I hope that he doesn't, you know, reach some kind of a middle ground. He has to reject her Reject her 1,000 times if he has to. Panic slowly welled in my gut, crawling up into my chest, my throat, my skull. What would I even say if I caught up to her? What did I want to tell her? The coward inside me whispered, "Just let her be." No? That's not the coward! That's not the coward! That's the logic. Just stay here, she'll be back. I was only going to be living here for a year anyway. This way I could leave with no attachments, no regrets. This way she could give up on me for good, keep her distance. It would be best for both of us. It would be easiest for both of us. That was what had motivated her as well, wasn't it? Yes, staying put would be easier in the long run. It would mean no more uncomfortable conflicts. And the door, it was so far away. There was no one who could go and bring her back. Not anymore. I didn't even know what I was supposed to say if I did. Y'all, he's gonna feel bad. He's gonna run after her. That's just the way he is. So why bother? Just...
逃げるな!
Someone's voice rang out, and it was his own. No, not someone's. I knew that voice very well, because it was my own. The shout rang strong in my mind, cutting through the thick fog that was my hesitation. The boy who had made a vow shouted with all his might, shoving aside the coward who chose to close his eyes. Okay, rejection time! Don't turn your back, Mell. Stop running from your problems. This isn't his problem, though! However mundane your life may be, you will at some point come up against a life-changing decision. And it may seem like an insurmountable wall to you. But no matter how difficult it is to make a choice, turning your back on it is the one choice you must never make. And you swore you never would, that you would be stronger, to the man who offered you redemption. I had no memory of that, any of it. But somewhere deep, deep within me, my soul, if you could call it that, I was crying furiously at myself. You must never forget that vow. Right. That's right. I made a vow to him. I swore it on my very soul.
Nellie!
Okay, let's go. I made a mad dash from my room, not even bothering to change into real clothes. My legs were still a trembling mess, and my head empty as ever. I had no plan, nothing prepared to say to her. But there was no time to think about that. All I could do was go after her. I had made a wrong decision once, but there was still time to turn back onto the right course. And if I waited any longer, I would miss that chance too.
Nellie!
At least she just stood by the entrance.
お兄さん、メル、どうして。
ネリー！僕、うまく言葉が思いつかないんだけど、君に言わなきゃいけないことがあって、きちんと伝えられるかわからないけど、僕の気持ちや思っていることも君に知ってほしいんだ。
もういいのよ、メル。 気持ちなんて分かってるわ。ネリーのことを嫌がる気持ちがちゃんと伝わったもの。
Y'all, I really hope Mel just sticks by everything and isn't swayed by Nellie just because he sees how distraught she is. So he's just gonna lay flat.
拒絶と同じくらいきちんと伝わってきたわ。
違う、そうじゃないんだ。お願いだよネリー、話を聞いてほしい。僕の気持ちを決めるのはその後にして。
This better not be like some kind of a change of heart. Do not give her hope.
君が自分のことを晒し出してくれたんだから、僕もちゃんと見せなきゃいけないって思ったんだ。
Why am I worried? No, Mel will just tell her that he really wants them to be siblings. Right? Don't play her games.
僕は本当は君に好かれるような人間じゃないんだ。
Break her illusion. You're not a prince.
僕が君を嫌うんじゃなくて、本当は逆なんだ。君が僕に幻滅するのが正しいんだよ。
I'm still like, there's nothing bad about you, but if you have to say all of this, sure.
さっきだって自分が傷つきたくないからって星に走ったんだ。僕がいつも笑っているのは嫌な目に遭いたくないからで、優しいからじゃない。
And that doesn't make you a bad person.
そんなことないわ。メルはいつも優しくしてくれるし、すごくいい人よ。王子様みたいに。
That prince speech again. Yes, break that image of yourself, Mel, if you have to.
本当に王子様ならネリーを泣かせることもなかっただろうし、君をすぐに追いかけたはずだよ。
Exactly. She will know this. She will know this. I have total faith in you, Mel. You will solve this.
僕は弱い人間なんだ。いつも人の目を気にしている。他人にいいように思われたいと考えている。
And that's normal. He's just a teenager.
君に好かれているのだって本当は気分が良かった。でも兄弟で関係を持つなんて社会的にありえないから怖かったんだ。だから君に好かれながらもそれが僕にとって害のない家族愛にとどまってほしいと思っていた。君の気持ちなんてこれっぽっちも考えていない。自分のことばかりなんだ。君と正面からぶつかり合うのだって恐ろしくて追いかけるのに時間がかかってしまった。
そんなに恐ろしかったのに、ネリーを追いかけたのはどうしてなの？
僕は自分の弱さを克服したいと思っているんだ。だって誰ともぶつかり合わないような何事もない人生なんてありえないんだから。現に今僕たちは大きな岐路に立っている。ここで選択を間違えたままだと取り返しのつかないことになると思ったんだ。また君を失ってしまうと思ったんだ。うまく説明できないんだけど、君を失おうとしているのはこれが初めてじゃないように感じるんだ。ネリー、僕の言葉なんて信用ないかもしれないけど、僕は君のことを大事に思っているんだ。いや、もっと正確に言うなら大事に思うようになったんだ。 君が僕のことを大切に思ってくれていると痛いほどよくわかった。僕だってその気持ちを信じたいし、大事にしたい。
But you can't push those feelings onto him.
でもそれは君が抱くような恋愛感情じゃなくて、家族に対する大切な気持ちなんだよ。
Yes! Mell standing on business. I was afraid that his people pleaser vibes would be like, okay, maybe I have a little bit of love just to make her, come back. Good, very good, Mell. You handled this very well. Hopefully she'll back down now.
家族ごっこなんて言ったのに。
そうだね、そう言ってしまった。でもそれは本当の気持ちじゃない。だってごっこだって思っておけば、誰からも愛されなくたって家族のふりをしていられるだろう。傷つくのが怖いから、ぶつかり合うのが怖いから、最初から偽物にしてしまったんだ。ほら、僕はすごく卑怯な人間だ。王子なんかじゃないんだよ。そんな立派なものじゃない。
I feel like he's gonna make up scenarios that's gonna make him look bad, just so he can break this prince image that she has of him.
いつも逃げることばかり考えて、自分に甘い方向にばっかり向いているんだ。
I mean, I think that sounds smart. How I can make my life as easy and stress-free as possible. You're 17 and you're thinking about this? That's good.
でも、それを変えていきたいと思っているし。
He's making everything sound like selfish and like bad traits, but he's just been listing good traits.
僕がそんな人間だと知っても、家族でいてほしいんだ。君と何でも言い合えるような対等な家族になりたいって思っているんだよ。それだとダメなのかな、ネリー。そういう選択はないのかな。一緒に支え合って生きていくことはできないのかな。
Nellie, don't be selfish. Back the freak down now.
僕にはやっぱり君の気持ちを受け入れることはできない。でも君を突き放すこともできない。どちらも選べないのは変わっていない。でも家族として君の気持ちに向き合う覚悟は持つつもりだよ。
She'll get over these feelings. She'll get over it.
君の感情を決して気持ち悪いなんて言ったりしない。もう二度とそんなことは思わない。
Just, Nellie, don't act on them like that ever again. Because that was very uncomfy, very uncalled for.
でも君が僕に恋愛感情を抱いているように、僕が君を家族として大切に思っていることを理解してほしい。僕の気持ちも理解してほしい。僕は君と世界で唯一の兄弟として同じ目線で立っていきたいんだ。これからの困難も兄弟として二人で乗り越えていきたい。それじゃあダメなのかな。君を失いたくはないんだよ。勝手なことばかり言ってごめん。君の気持ちは受け取れないって言いながらそばにいてくれなんて、やっぱり都合が良すぎるよな。
He's being so harsh on himself. Mel, you did nothing wrong. Literally nothing wrong.
そうね。とっても都合が良すぎるわ、お兄様。
Y'all, this freaking brat. He's thinking about you too. My goodness, she's getting on my last nerve. I was never this mad at her in door 1 or the final door. She's been acceptable. I mean, I really liked her in the final door. In the first door, I really liked her throughout, and then, you know, that little misstep. But Reincarnation, Nellie, I don't like you very much. You're super selfish. I'm just imagining myself in Mel's position. I'd be like, somebody shoot me. Like this is a horrible position to be in.
Nellie.
家族として必要だってそう言ってもらえたのも初めてだもの。それにネリーの恋が叶わなくても気持ちを知ってもらえた上で一緒にいられるのはなんだか救われた気持ち。不思議ね、こんなにすっきりした気持ちになるなんて。もちろん悲しい気持ちもあるけど、それよりも知ってもらえたことが嬉しいのよ。こんな風に受け止めてもらえるなんて思ってなかった。きっと何もかも壊れちゃうんだろうって思ってた。そうなるのがむしろ自然なような気がして。変ね、メルに気持ちを伝えたのは初めてのはずなのに。
If you would have known, you would have known that it ended very badly. For you and then Mel.
なんだかね、ようやくちゃんと向き合えたような気がするの。今までずっと失敗ばかりしていたような気がするの。
そうだね、ネリー。僕もそんな気がするよ。
ネリーはお兄様をメルをきちんと受け止めるわ。王子様も素敵なお兄様もどっちも押し付けないわ。あなたの弱いところもひっくるめてそばにいて妹として支えるわ。
And no funny antics, okay?
僕も至らないところばかりだけど、君の兄として君を支えるよ。
Those two traits are not Mel's. Those two traits are Nellie's. Inattentive and self-centered.
きっとできるはずだわ。ネリーもきちんとあなたのことを兄として見られるように頑張るから。
Good. And stay out of his room too.
時間がかかるかもしれないけど、きっと大丈夫だと思うわ。だから家を出ていくなんて言わないで、ちゃんと家族になりましょう。
I think, Nellie, that depends on you. How you act this year. So uncomfy.
君のお母さん、いや、僕の母さんともちゃんと向き合うよ。父さんにも話をしようと思う。 なんか気が抜けて膝が抜けそうだよ。大げさかもしれないけど本当に度胸が必要だったんだ。
メルよりもネリーの方がずっと度胸が必要だったと思うわ。
You just acted on impulse, and you also knew what the outcome would be, so it took you like zero courage.
そりゃそうだね。ところでさ、そろそろ部屋に戻らない？勢い余って外に出ちゃったけど、ほらネリーはそんな格好のままだし。
やだ、全然意識してなかった。誰にも見られてないわよね。
見られてはないと思いたいけど、たくさん騒いじゃったし、ご近所さんにからかわれるかも。
Uh-oh, it's gonna be on TikTok!
聞こえてないことを祈ろうか。
Y'all, that was exhausting! Fortunately, no one had overheard our conversation, but rumors of the scene we had made that night spread through the neighborhood almost immediately. Awkward! Well, no one overheard at least. People took the intensity of our clash as a sign of how close we were, which was far preferable to them knowing what we were fighting about. And certainly a worthwhile price to pay for not losing Nellie forever. A little humiliation would at least fade with time. Nellie and I spent the following day, the last day of our parents' vacation, together cooking, cleaning, watching TV. It was a lot like our first day together here. And when our parents returned, they were visibly surprised at how close we appeared to be. Though Mom was most taken aback at the fact that Nellie had actually done chores. Of course, she still acted as though Nellie was her only child, and I just tagged along when she remarried Dad. It was enough to make me question if I really was her biological son. As much as yesterday's conversation had helped me to have a more positive outlook, obviously, it wasn't going to magically fix all of our family problems. It was slightly discouraging being treated as a second-class citizen, but knowing I at least had Nellie on my side, I was able to feel like I actually belonged somewhere for once. So I wanted to return the favor by being genuine with her and moving past the empty kindness I had shown before. My goal was to stop running from every little bump in the road, which I hoped would stop my problems from piling up into something insurmountable. We could work through things together now, the two of us. So we wouldn't make mistakes we'd regret ever again. So I wouldn't have to lose her again.
これでお土産は私を得たかしら。本当に今回はママたちだけで楽しんじゃってごめんなさいね。
大丈夫だよ。こっちもこっちで楽しくやれていたからさ。
そう？でも次の旅行は家族みんなで行きましょうね。行きたいところがあるなら行ってちょうだい。あなたたちの希望に応えるわ。
そうだな。それじゃあパリに行ってみたいかな。もう一度ネリーとね。
And thus began a new chapter in our lives. I haven't had any more strange dreams, and I was never able to remember who I had made that vow to. To yourself! Although my gut tells me that not remembering is for the best. The nagging feeling in the back of my mind cleared up entirely. Nellie had apparently been experiencing the same inexplicable sensation. And like magic, hers vanished too as soon as she had faced up to her problems with me. Phew. Maybe there is something more between us after all. Yeah, you have a past. Something in the distant past. Something significant enough that it etched itself into our souls, if souls even exist. Though it's not like we have any way of knowing. And honestly, looking forward is much more important than looking back. You're so right. We've taken the first step towards becoming close siblings, but we still have plenty of work to keep it that way. After all, this new chapter in our lives is still just that, a chapter, and the next one could just as easily turn down a dark path if we aren't careful. And at least on that note, I feel like I'm speaking from experience, though of what, I'll never know. Another day, another wide smile on her face. She's strong-willed, a little spoiled, has an insatiable appetite for attention, and seems just a little more grown up than before. She's my one and only sister, Nellie. And we're standing now shoulder to shoulder, brother and sister, facing toward the future. Relief, that's what I'm feeling. Oh, new chapter. Chains.